Hey folks, how you guys doing? Hope you're doing better than me. Yes, I'm wearing a wrinkled shirt. I just pulled it out of a pile. Wrinkled shirt. I'm doing a couple videos on the same day. No secret, it's what I'm doing. As you probably can tell, I'm not a happy camper. I'm pissed off at this lady with dementia. I'm pissed off at the medical care system. I'm pissed off at the power of attorney. I'm pissed off at myself. I'm pissed off at the world. So I'm just going to sit here and document it and record it because I definitely want to document it. So I just put the phone on airplane mode. Maybe I can still pull up the time on something. Maybe not. I don't know. Let me see here. At 1:50 p.m. today, I get a text message from some unknown person, some unknown individual, and it I don't know if it'll show me the message. It asked me if the person who resides here, the owner of the household, is available for nurse visit today on this date around 3 p.m. to 3:30 p.m. arrival, and I will have Marcos RN with me in training. Thank you, and then mentions her name, RN, and Centerwell Home Health. So I'm thinking that's kind of odd because I remember being in attendance when that male nurse showed up the initial day, and on the next day, the nurse was supposed to show up, up an hour late, and I was instructed by the power of attorney, who was no longer around, read into that, and told me to basically send them on their way. They showed up 55 minutes late, so basically I thought they were fired, terminated. That's was the interpretation. Uh, based on what I was instructed to do because I'm a stupid ass individual. I'm the redheaded stepchild, right? So I do as I'm told because I'm just the little bitch of the family. So today I get this text message. Power of attorney, according to the calendar, was on his excursion to California through Sunday, and he was supposed to be here today. And then I get a text message, he's going to be here tomorrow. Da, da, da. So I'm like, okay, to be honest with you, I kind of like it that way. I really don't need to be talked to like I'm a 10-year-old. But anyway, so when I meet these people at the door, and I'm trying to, before I grant them, they ask if it was okay for them, and so I just replied yes. So then I try to communicate with the power of attorney who's on his excursion or whatever, and I said, are these people authorized? Blah blah blah. No reply. So now I'm left to kind of like interrogate these people at the door, and I'm trying to be polite but professional. And I'm like, well, I thought you people, if I'm not mistaken, I thought you people were terminated because you're the first day you're a nurse after the initial visit showed up like an hour late. So the lady was kind of like a little bit. I truly was polite and professional, and she's like, well, if you don't want us to come in, we have another person that needs a catheter or something. I said, no, I'm just trying to find out what's going on. Is this a paid visit? Or if I authorize you to come through the door, I don't know who's paying for this. I'm not the power of attorney. So I'm just trying to get clarification. Before I authorize you to come through these doors, I want to know, who's being billed? Is this authorized through the power of attorney? What's going on? Because there's the communication cycle in this whole process sucks. I'm going to tell you flat out, the whole communication process sucks. So I I was having a good day. I'm preparing a big crock pot meal for my mother, myself. A lot of things are going well. And then I get this dropped in my lap. And basically, it's about, what did I tell you? It was like the time of day. I forget what it was, 1:50 p.m. I'm looking down at, so I replied yes. So I noticed a vehicle pull up in front of the house 2 minutes prior to the initial time, which was like 2:58 or whatever, which is good. Like somebody's punctual for once, that's kind of how I like to be. And then I just kind of looking out the window. Then I see a truck pull up in front of the mailbox, and about 3 or 4 minutes later, no big deal, right? So I'm just kind of watching. So I kind of go out there and greet them, and I just politely asked the gentleman who was parked in front of the mailbox if he could park the other side of the little small street so it would not obstruct the United States Postal Service vehicle. Everybody was cool. Everything went great. They get to the front door. I'm trying to understand what's going on, why such short notice. I'm not saying it in a crappy way. I'm just trying to understand the process because I don't want to authorize something I'm not authorized to authorize. And I have no knowledge of this visit. So then I'm kind of like talking to the lady, and she was like, right away I could tell we're probably not going to mesh real well because she was not trying to diffuse the situation with facts or logic. So that's all I was looking for. Is just trying to understand. I said, have you tried to contact the power of attorney? Do you have his number? I'm just trying to like do all the due process as a substandard citizen or redheaded stepchild of the family, so nothing's going to get blamed on me. So when she comes to the door, at that point, I'm trying to inform them of all the, they're asking questions. They keep asking my mother, who is dying of dementia, asking her all the questions about like vital information, like her blood pressure and all this stuff. I'm like, it's like it was ridiculous. Like her medications, like, and I had to interject a couple times. I said, just to remind you, my mother does not have the mental capacity to be able to answer those questions. That's why she has a power of attorney who was not here, but I'm here on behalf of the medical situation to remind you that you're asking somebody who has diminished mental capacity to answer these questions. I said, so I don't feel comfortable, you're documenting all her replies that may not be accurate because for her declining mental capacity. I don't know how many times I have to say that. And I had to remind her she has dementia. So so we're going through this process, and it's like the lady who's supposed to be training the other dude, she kept looking at him and making statements, but then looking to him for confirmation of what she was saying. It was weird. It was like who's training who here? She seemed very green and raw because she didn't seem to know like all of what she should have known as being a trainer. And I'm just shoot it to you real, like, so after a while I'm observing them too, and the young trainee seemed very knowledgeable, and she kept falling back and referring to him for confirmation or affirmation, I guess is probably a better word, on what she was thinking. So I'm thinking, all right, this is crazy. Then, so stuff like that went on for a while, and just like, but basically just a bunch of stupidity. I kept reminding her. She's asking for appointment dates. I'm showing her the calendar. I said, this is what it is. I said, I have to remind you, the power of attorney is in control of all those appointment dates. But she keeps asking my mother the appointment dates. And my mom, her brain's like jello. So she, the nurse is not comprehending, but keeps asking my mother, the person who has a mental capacity deficiency, these questions. And I kept interjecting politely and calmly. I'm like, you can't keep asking her these questions. She does not know the answers. You keep putting this into your little tablet. These are not going to be proper and correct answers to your questions. Therefore, I'm requesting that you contact the power of attorney. It may take you a little while to reach out to him, but I kept deferring as much as it pains me to do that. refer to the power of attorney. So this goes on and on and on and on, and we're going through this like I'm she's asking my mom all these questions. What type of medications are you on? I said, hold on, time out. I'm going to bring all the medications over to you, show you how they're labeled, AM and PM, and we're going to go through this. You can't keep interrogating my mother. She doesn't comprehend what she was taking a year ago or what she took yesterday. So I hate saying that in front of my mother, but this lady was not making me very jubilant at that point, and I was getting very frustrated and angry. So I show her, and the assistant, who's the guy in training, seemed more logical and comprehensive and knowledgeable of these medications. So I showed them 3 other vials of medication, which were basically backup prescriptions to the other ones that were labeled AM and or PM. So I'm going through this gauntlet of stupidity, and then at the end of the visit, the lady is asking my mom to sign on the tablet for the visit. So I'm like, whoa. My mom was getting ready to sign. I was like, wait, hold on 1 second. I politely asked the lady, I said, what is she signing for? Why do you keep asking a lady with a diminished mental capacity to sign? What is she signing? Explain to me, show me comprehensively, what is she signing for? Because is it saying in there she's going to be billed 20%? Or I want to understand what she is signing. We've already discussed this. She has dementia. Why are you asking a person? It's like asking a person in a DUI test, do you understand your rights, your Miranda rights? That's like the stupidest damn thing I've ever heard in my life. I didn't say that part about the Miranda rights, but that's what I'm thinking, like the same stupid crap, right? So now I'm like, so I said, no. I said, so she's telling, I was like, no. I said, I'll initial for her. I said, but she is not going to sign, that acknowledges that she understands what's comprehensible in this written document. You're telling me it's one thing, but I don't know what it says. We're not reading it. So eventually, I did initial it for, and I put my initials, and I put for RC, which is the patient here, and it highly upset me that the lady was so dismissive and basically very rude, saying, well, we have to go to our next appointment, and pretty much bolted after I signed. And then the other gentleman I told you, he pulled up in a pickup truck, and she was parked in front of my van in the driveway. So about 3 minutes later, I go out there. The pickup truck's already gone. She's still sitting there in her vehicle. So apparently this appointment that they both had to attend that was so pressing was not that pressing. So I was not real impressed with that service that was provided today. And I don't really have to say. I can relay the information to the power of attorney, and it'll probably be dismissed like everything else in my life. But that's how I feel. I wanted to share that today. There's a couple other things that are irking me. I might save that for another day. I'm looking here. I should be looking here, but I'm so pissed off right now. I just want this whole process, the entire process, one way or the other, to be over with as soon as possible. I just had to go through a nutrition battle with my mother one more time. She only eats what she wants to eat. She doesn't listen. She gets argumentative. I've heard a lot of people say when the elderly get dementia, they become mean and and stuff like that. It's like yeah, that happens at times. I won't say it's a consistent formula, but when the power of attorney comes home and sees that certain meals, like lunch meals, were not fed, I'm going to be blamed for not feeding her, even the days I'm at work. Well, what happened was the other nurse, Mary, real nice lady, very productive, was feeding my mom dinner meals at lunchtime. So there's excessive lunch meals at this time. So, I'm trying to do this a grandiose crock pot meal for us and for, also for YouTube and, for nutrition and for leftovers for the next few days. And I'm very disappointed how today turned out. I've always been saying that every time uh, positive things happen, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling well rested. I was able to get like basically 2.5 hours extra sleep this morning, feeling productive today. And then this crap just falls in my lap out of the blue, no notification. And she keeps asking my mom about these appointments. And I keep referring to her like, how many times I got to tell you? She's telling me, well, the physical therapist is coming on a Tuesday. All her medical appointments are on Tuesday. I was like, no, you can't keep scheduling these appointments. I said, let me show you the calendar. I've already explained this to this lady. I just want to like send her to the moon like Alice, right? So I'm like, man, it's like, is anybody freaking listening to me? I'm here talking to you politely, calmly, and politely, and and respectfully. And are you not listening to me? You're just punching all this crap in your tablet, and you keep trying to schedule stuff on the same day that I already told you she has other appointments. The physical therapist cannot show up on Tuesdays because she already has pre-scheduled doctor's appointments. Does anybody listen to me? I'm going to close that out. That's going to be my ending salutation. Does anybody ever listen to me? It's evident on YouTube. Not many people listen to me, but the medical people, the power of attorney, other people. Does anybody freaking listen to me? That's my question of the day. Does anybody